Okay, so happy Friday, or whenever you're watching this during this week, and let's all collectively just say an amazing prayer if that's your thing, positive energy if that's your thing, for people affected by these fires around us, close to us. I know I've had people in my life that have been affected, so let's all just send them love, man, in our world. And also, it's 9/11 anniversary. It's like, our world is hard to navigate sometimes. I know for me, I just have to keep moving forward. I get up, I work out, eat good food, do my work, feel good about it, as good as I can. Then, you know, just keep moving forward. So that'd be my suggestion. And it seems like those who are participating in this class are doing just that. So maybe you don't need to hear that. Anyway, maybe I just needed to say it. Okay. Hey, listen, what I'm going to cover most in this is really the really good conversation that happened around the Project Zero, because I know that can create a certain amount of angst, right? But also a certain amount of excitement, which I love to see. And so it was great to ask for an example, and I provided that, and that was some good discussion, right? And here are some of the questions that I saw. Some of them I answered if you had posted before yesterday around noon, because that's about when I posted my response. And so let's go. Yeah, so do the topics. So this is why I showed you my site, because I wanted to show you the idea of when we talk about the menu are your main organizing categories for your site. We call it a menu, ultimately it acts like a menu. And the question is, should they be distributed evenly? Well, I wouldn't want to see just one subpage per topic. And so I think the idea of evenly distributing them is at least a good starting point. If you find maybe one has one or two extra and one has one or two less, I'm not going to get freaked out by that. But if I just see one, yeah, that'd probably mark off a little bit, right? Pretty excited about this. There was some other good questions about this. Yeah, so the original content, right? So the reason these requirements have been like over the time I've been teaching this, which has been a couple of years, I used to require students to take the course content and reorganize it because I felt like that was a good way to remind, re-see, reanalyze the content that we've covered. But as this class has moved forward, I also found, based on my conversation with students, that, I really want them to do something that's fun for them. So the original idea of 200 words for the index page came from the fact that all of the subpages could have content that you've already written that is just cut and pasted. So, yeah, and it's 200 words of content, not 200 lines of code. The amount of code that you're going to have to modify here will vary based on your template, which is what we're doing this week, right? And then actually there are a question too about the due date, right? So, and I covered this in the discussion, but I'll just say it here. Like, this is the last thing due for this class. And so it's on a Thursday night, and it is the last thing, so there's no work that can be done after this item is due. So working ahead as much as you can. And somebody asked me, are you willing to give feedback? Absolutely. Reach out to me if you're at a place where you want me to review it. And I kind of went over, right, some of what I look for is, did you do the title page? Do you have all the pages? Do the pages link? Are there any broken images? You need an image on each page. Did you modify all the content in the template you chose? I realized in my example I had missed some. So this is good. I'm actually going to redo my example, but I'm going to do it in a more current version, because that was 2018. So I'm going to redo it in a more current version of the template for this semester. So that's good as well. There's another question here about, oh yeah, the images. So we'll talk about images, I think not this coming week, maybe the week after. But here's the thing, is because this is an academic site, you have a little more leeway in what images you can pull and use, right? If you have your own, that's what I used. I used my own for the most part. I think that's a better way to go if you can. But and there are ways to look at images on the web that are free, royalty free, and open licensed. So, but you have some flexibility. So you just make sure that you understand the rights related, especially using Google Images. Okay. Jeff, thanks for the nice reply there. Profile site. Oh, yeah. So this was funny. So Jeff was looking at my site and he was like, and I think what you meant was my menu, right? My life, da 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 da. And he was asking, could you copy that idea? So, here's my thing. Try to come up with maybe something that is your own. But if you can't and you feel like those things reflect what you're doing, you know, again, try to come up with them. But I see that maybe and it's probably somewhat universal too. So I'm tending to lean more on the flexibility side of that because I think when I organized it, right, I'm sure there are other people that have done profile sites and you kind of look at the major parts of your life, your family, your work, right? Kind of stuff. So I don't think those are so different, right? A few questions. What does it mean? One page, one menu items. Yes, that is what that means, Tim, is that you have one for every menu item, again, 4 to 5 of them, then that menu item organizing topic category has then underneath it subpages that are organized within that concept. That's why it's a good distribution if you have, doing 21 pages, if you have them evenly distributed, right? Yeah, so all the content, and I'll say this again, your template, and you'll see this next week, will come with some content already set up as far as footers and all that. So what I want to make sure is that you've updated all that content with your topic selected content, or your own content, maybe is another way to say that, right? Jeff was asking for separate links. So you can, and I think this is what you're asking. I've had students say this is, can you use one of your menu items as work in this class? Sure. I've had that question asked. It's like maybe one of my organizing menus, one of my topics of that 4 to 5 selected topics would be of work in this class. Portfolio sites are great, by the way, and you should have one as you move forward. So this is a help to get you started there. But doing just a portfolio site, you would want to have enough content for that. But yeah, that would work, right? My life is too boring for 21 pages. I doubt that's true, but I hear you. Yeah, would it be possible to make a site about my work? Sure. Yeah, just think about how you'd organize that, what your menu would look like, and your subpages. Again, the reason many students over the years have chosen to reorganize this course content information was because they didn't have to write so much. And if you look at my requirements here, right, back up here, I believe I copied them. Yeah. So each page only needs 75 words. It's only the index page that needs a little more. So there you go. Right? Grade yourself. Okay. So I think that answers most of them. And I thought that was really the most important thing to focus on today, given that this is where we're at coming into week 6, coming out of week 5. We finished the bootstrap thing last night. This week, I already have content ready. Matter of fact, I'm hoping that by Monday, I got a pretty rough week. I might try to do it today, is to get week 7 done, which really is rolling us closer and closer to the end of the semester. So glad you're here. Thanks for hanging out. Have a great weekend. Send positive energy wherever your heart feels it needs to go. Feels like it needs to go everywhere right now. Okay. Peace out.